Today we're going to do an in-depth tutorial on how to make a dress like this. This is part 1, so we're going to focus on making all of the bows and all of the straps. For the big bow down here, you're going to need a sewing pattern that is 10 inches by 8 inches long. For the longer bow in the middle, you're going to need a sewing pattern that is 17 by 4.5 inches. For this sewing pattern, you want to take your fabric, fold it in half, and then you're going to cut this on the fold. Starting at these 2 points right here, we're going to do a straight stitch along the edges using 1/4 inch seam allowance, leaving an opening here in the middle so we can flip it inside out. For this sewing pattern, we're just going to fold our fabric in half. We do not have to cut on the fold, so you can just set your sewing pattern down and then cut it out. If your fabric is a little thin, you can add some fusible interfacing to give it a little more structure. Now you want to sew down both of these edges using 1/4 inch seam allowance. After you finish sewing both of these, you're going to flip them inside out. Then you're going to iron and top stitch, then fold the edges towards the middle and then do a zigzag stitch. Fold the fabric into fourths to make a bow shape. You're going to wrap a piece of fabric around the bow, then do a straight stitch on the edge of this fabric. Now you can slide the bow through this little loop to help keep that bow shape in place. You're going to iron and top stitch the other fabric and then fold it into 6 and then make another fabric loop to help keep that bow shape in place. Then it should look something like this. So now the bows are all done. Now we're going to move on and learn how to make the straps. For the shoulder straps, we're going to need strips of fabric that are 22 inches long and 3 inches wide. So now we're going to cut out 2 of those for the shoulder straps. So these are the shoulder straps and they should be 22 inches by 3 inches. Next, you're going to fold them in half and then pin it in place. I also like to cut the little corner to give it more of a bow shape, and then I cut a little bit off the top to give it a little more of a taper. And now we're going to sew down this edge with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then using a loop turner, you're going to flip it inside out. You can hem the raw edge any way you want. I just like to tuck it in and then do a top stitch. You're going to do the same thing for the straps on the bows. These are also 3 inches wide, but it's up to you to decide how long you want them to be. At this point, you're going to want to iron and top stitch. Now that all of your straps are made, you're just going to sew them to the back of your bow using a hand sewing needle. So you'll just place it right on the back and then do a couple of stitches right across the top. So now our bows and straps should look like this, and we're going to set them aside until it's time to attach them to our corset. Let me know what you think and follow and save for more sewing videos.